by turning to Jessie Hill. She's a law professor at Case Western Reserve University and joins me from Cleveland, Ohio. Jessie, let me ask you the same thing I asked Jim and just get your take on what overturning half a century of precedent means for women. The immediate implications is what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It is so momentous. I just cannot overstate it. This is really a sea change, both in terms of the law and in terms of people's access to reproductive health care in America. It is going to dramatically change things immediately in the U.S.
So how? How will that change for someone, a woman of color, for example, a low-income woman who desperately needs reproductive help?
Right. Well, what this now means is that every state gets to decide for itself whether to ban abortion, allow abortion in some circumstances. So we know that some states have already acted to ban abortion and make it completely unavailable. And what we also know is that those states that are banning abortion and are likely to ban it in the near future are concentrated in certain parts of the country in the South and the Midwest. So people who want to access reproductive health care are going to have to travel to other states to access it. And that's going to be expensive. It's going to be difficult. It's going to require taking time off work, childcare. Some states require multiple visits in order to access a single abortion procedure. So and for all of those reasons, it's going to disproportionately affect people who have more limited financial means and people of color.
Jessie, President Biden called on Congress to codify abortion rights, Roe versus Wade. How likely is that to happen? From what we heard from our reporter, Jim Spellman, that seems like a far stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's very likely to happen, unfortunately. I think the filibuster will prevent any legislation from getting passed on expanding abortion rights. And then we have to remember that if it did pass, it would likely get challenged immediately in court, and it would end up before the very same Supreme Court that struck down Roe v. Wade.
Is today's decision, Jessie, really all that surprising, considering the leaked memo that came out in May? I mean, we were expecting this, but for a lot of women, it still seemed like a really stunning blow today.
That's right. I think it was sort of shocking, but not surprising. You know, we've been expecting it all along, but to really see it was something different. And I did hear anecdotally from folks who said, yeah, we saw the leaked opinion, but we didn't really think that the Supreme Court was going to do it. We really thought that they weren't going to overrule Roe v. Wade. And now there's sort of no escaping that reality.
And could this decision perhaps go beyond Roe versus Wade, you know, with other cases, same-sex marriage, to name one?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Supreme Court majority opinion by Justice Alito took a lot of pains to say very clearly that this is just about abortion, and we're not talking about these other rights that are closely related, at least legally and doctrinally, to abortion. So they said things like same-sex marriage, contraception, and so on are not affected by this decision. But there's really nothing in the logic of the decision that prevents a challenge to those rights in the future. And that's something we've seen before, where the Supreme Court sort of says, we'll go this far, but no farther. And then the next case challenges exactly that next issue.